Hey, so welcome back everybody. This is John with SwingFit. Are you in the market for a brand new driver but just a little confused of which one you should put in your bag? Should you go with Callaway, Cobra, Mizuno, Ping, PXG, TaylorMade, Titleist, Strixon? I mean, the list goes on. And with more than 60 plus drivers to pick and choose from, not only could this be a daunting task for your seasoned golfer, but it's almost next to impossible for the average golfer like you or myself. And did you know that long before we decide on the manufacturer, the golf shaft, or anything like that, there's one critical element during the fit process that we have to determine first and foremost. And on average, 80 to 90% of our customers get this wrong. And if they're getting it wrong, there's a pretty damn good chance that you might be getting it wrong. And of course, I'm talking about the loft of your driver. Now, I'm not actually talking about the loft sleeve either. I'm actually talking about what is stamped on the bottom part of your driver. You know, is it a 9, a 10.5, a 12? You know, heck, even some manufacturers go as low as 7.5 and 8. But there are certain reasons and times where a club fitter might want to opt for a higher lofted driver versus that of a lower lofted in order to help the customers change the shot outcome. And today's video is all about sharing some practical guidance on how you can pick and choose the correct loft so that way you don't make the same mistakes. So without further ado, let's jump in. So before we dive into today's topic, I do want to take a quick second to welcome any new viewers to the channel. So if this happens to be your first time and want to learn more about the club fitting process, I mean really gain a better understanding of why a club fitter might do certain things during the fit process in order to help their customers change the shot outcome, then I can promise you're in the right place and you're just a couple clicks away from gaining access to this information so that way you can make a more informed decision. So consider hitting that subscribe button, turn on that bell so that way you receive an alert whenever we drop our new content. And for my current subscribers, we truly can't thank you enough, because we know if it wasn't for your continued support and your feedback and just spreading the word of what we're trying to do in the golfing community, you know, our channel would cease to exist. With almost 2,100 subscribers, you know, we couldn't be more thankful. So guys, continue to keep those suggestions coming in. And if you have any questions at all about your current setup or game, do us a favor, just drop them in the remarks and give us an opportunity to help you get pointed back in the right direction. So now let's get back to today's topic to help you understand why loft is so critical in the driver selection process. And heck, I'm even going to go as far to say that it is the #1 critical element that a club fitter will look at in order to put their customers in the right driver. I'm talking about long before we look at shafts, heads, CG locations, grips, any of that, you know, we got to determine what is the correct loft. Now, if you don't believe me that loft is that important or maybe a little skeptical, then let me offer this perspective. And that is, take a look at this chart right here. This is a complete list of all the major manufacturers. I'm talking about all the different head models that manufacturer has produced for the current driver lineup, as well as the available lofts they offer in each model. And as you see, some manufacturers actually have more options than that of others, with Titleist taking top prize with 14 different heads. Now, best believe if a company is going to go through the process, I'm talking about go through all the rigor, the research, the testing, the design, you know, the manufacturing tooling, and just creating all these different heads, there is a simple explanation, and that is one size does not fit all. And this is where a lot of our customers go wrong, is when they make a driver selection process, they go with the one in the middle, right? So they don't want to go with the 9 or the 12, they go with the 10.5, and with the understanding that, well, I'll just take loft up or take it down, not truly understanding what is the implication or the result of what happens when you use that loft sleeve, right? Guys, I mean, it's just that important, and if it wasn't, you know, why wouldn't manufacturers just make one head? So now that we got that out of the way, let's help you understand what does loft affect during the fitting process. And without question, if we're going to help our customers hit the ball farther, straighter, and tighter, we got to help them regulate their spin, right? And the #1 way to do this is through loft. And it's not to say that the golf ball, the shaft, or the CG location isn't important. It just comes after we pick and determine the correct loft. And how we're going to illustrate this today is we're going to utilize the Compare tab in our fitting software. And we're going to show you what the impact is by just making 1 degree of loft change, and we're going to do this 2 different times. So the first test case, we have a medium to average swing speed clocking in about 95, 97 mile an hour, and we're going to be utilizing the brand new Titleist TSi2 driver. And then in the second test case, we have a faster swing speed clocking in about 107 to 109, and we're going to be utilizing the Titleist TSi3 drivers. Not only do we like both of these drivers because of its unique characteristics and being able to cater to a multitude of golfers, but we also like them because there's 4 options for loft. So there's an 8 degree option, a 9, 10, and 11, which really gives us that ultimate flexibility to make sure we're picking the correct one. So let's take a look at the TSi2 driver with our medium to average swing speed. Now, the first thing I want to bring to your attention is that top left corner. Take a look at those apex windows, and we would suspect to see this as we go up in loft, but just notice that every single version produced a different apex window, with the red one being the lowest lofted, the 8 degree version, and that blue one being the highest lofted, the 11 degree. And one of these 4 is the best fit for the customer, but which one? Now, I don't think anybody would argue that the 10 degree is the best fit for this test case. I mean, when you take a look at that carry in total, 231 and 254, no disputing, the 10 degree was the clear winner here. But the number one thing that I want to point out is how we got to that 231 and 254 to begin with. Loft was the only factor that we played around with in this test case, right? So it wasn't a full-blown fitting. We just used 4 different driver heads with different stated lofts, and we had a customer hit 5 to 7 shots with each lofted version. And you know what? The output is the output. But just take a look here. So not only did it yield the best ball speed, which is just a validation point at 137, but it also produced that best optimum backspin range for our medium to average swing speeds, in which we know that range is anywhere between 23 to 2600 RPMs of backspin, right? That's just the general rule of thumb, and we know if we can get in that range, we should be able to produce similar results like you're seeing here. But what happens when you have too low of loft? What does that do, right? Well, let's take a look. So at that 8 degrees, you know, ball speed, 133, low launch, low backspin. Backspin is a ball flight regulator here, and that's really the key topic today, is being able to use loft to increase backspin. And no disputing, 2 degrees of loft change added almost 800 RPMs of additional spin. Right? You know, we didn't make any other change, just 2 degrees of loft, and that's what it netted. And we generally will see this with our medium to average swing speed players. So guys, if you're struggling with getting the ball in the air, maybe the nose dives out, hard snap to the left, hard snap to the right, pretty damn good indication that you got too low of loft and spin is the culprit here. And vice versa, if it's too high of loft, that ball is going to catch a moon ramp to the sky, and it's actually just going to stop and drop. No roll or very little roll. You might even see your pitch mark on your second shot, but there, you know, that's a dead ringer that you just got too high of loft, and there you're going to see your backspin number start to spike a little higher. So once again, this is just one of the ways that we will check all the boxes to make sure we're getting our customers in that right loft. Now, let's take a look at our second test case, which is our faster swing speed player, clocking in at about 107 to 109 mile an hour. And just like the previous test case, you're going to start to see some similarities. As we increase loft, spins are going to increase, launches are going to increase, and there's going to be one clear winner that's going to produce the hottest ball speed. And when you take a look, the 9 degree is that clear winner. It produced 154 mile an hour ball speed. Question is, did it produce the best result? And no dispute, right? Carry total of 273 versus a total of 297. So that is definitely the leader in the clubhouse. And, you know, once again, it comes down to optimization. And we know at this swing speed, I really want to try to get the customer in that 2200 to 2500 range. And that's going to be a really, really good fit. I mean, take a look at the 8 degrees. It was very, very close. It was only, you know, 8 yards shorter than that of the 9 degrees. But the big thing that we did see, and we didn't have the shot tracers to indicate that, as soon as I put the 9 degree in the customer's hand, literally he was hitting tight ropes. I mean, just blistering the target line, shot after shot. And, you know, one of the things is We never argue the results. We just got to be able to explain it, and that's what we're doing here. Is 2400 is right around that threshold where we want to be for max backspin, and the ball speed just validates that. And of course, we're going to use the carry and total numbers to confirm it, and that's, you know, no argument there. But let's take a look at what happens when you're playing a little too high of a lofted driver at this swing speed. Just see how those backspin numbers creep up. 2,600, almost 3,000, and then take a look at the ball speed numbers again. As we add loft, it's more of a glancing blow, so ball speed's going to start to go south. And once again, if we see this, we know we can get this back by going the other direction. So guys, if you see your ball go up in the air, right, you're carrying it 253, 246, just like this customer did, but very little roll, then once again, pretty damn good chance that you got too much loft, and going lower loft would be a better fit for you. So in closing, we truly hope you found value in this information we share with you today. It's a little different take from that of some of the other YouTube channels that's out and about. We like to go deep into the weeds, so this way you have a better understanding, just like in today's topic, on how by adding or taking loft off can not only help you optimize your launch characteristics, but also to find some missing yards that you might be leaving on the table. So guys, if you have any questions or comments, do me a favor, leave them in the remarks below, and if you did find value, please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up to let us know you're enjoying the content. So until next week, don't forget to take a look at one of these videos over here, because there just might be a couple golden nuggets to help you get your game back on track. So until next week, thanks for watching.